Hi, this is Mia. This is another wait after Labor Day, before Memorial Day. This is the sweater that I wore last week, and it does have hearts. So this is the most ridiculous. I was so gonna put this up for sale because I'm like, there's no way me, and then it fits. It's kind of short, like. I wonder what this is made out of. It's probably acrylic. It feels pretty soft and cozy. This is like a really weird sweater. I'm not standing up. Not like I call them halter tops, but that's not the right use when your belly can show. This sweater was not going to be something that I could wear. I bought some grab bags and I washed the items and then I'm going to put stuff up for sale, which a lot of stuff didn't go up for sale, but it's pending. Anything that I could fit into, I pretty much kept. Like, I have this polyester blue dress. It's not my favorite. I should wear it in one of the videos, like tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, Friday. So I wanted to do the series. I think I accidentally had this dress or this shirt laying on top of the bowl that I eat with nut butter and olive oil. So I was pretty like, oh my god, I gotta wash this thing. So that's part of the problem. I took it off. So I'm a doctor, and I take classes through Project Echo. And I believe the first class I took was through OHSU. Maybe it was a COVID-19 course. I'm not sure what the first course. I should go back and look and get my transcripts. I've taken a lot of classes, and they have, I don't know about the East, but the West, they have two courses I'm taking on New Mexico. One's a reproductive health one, and one is a climate health or climate. It's all medical, the ones I'm taking anyways. And I thought I was taking one out of Colorado or something. Anyways, it's hard sometimes because some of the guest speakers are from different institutions around the country. I want to put my camera on when I'm in the class. I'll be dressed, not really in this sweater because I don't want to get stains on it, but I'll be dressed and ready. But I tend to fidget. Like, I turn my camera on for the Sunday meditation meeting afterwards when we were socializing, and I was like dropper in my mouth. And what else did I do that freaked me out? I hope I didn't like pick up my nose too much. I always like feel like I rub my nose. You hear my throat? I get like exposed to stuff. I didn't get enough sleep last night. What did I did something else. Oh, I was braiding my hair. I unbraided some hair and braided it, and I was like freaking myself out because I'm so used to having the camera off that I'm not. I should put a sign out that says camera on and camera off, mic on, mic off. I wasn't going to going to housing and feeling stuck. I wasn't going to do the Habitat for Humanity application that was due yesterday. The application was due December 1st. So I had some more paperwork. I don't think that they had my documents that they were missing. I'm pretty sure I turned them in December. Anyways, I don't think they matched them up with my file. That's what I'm trying to say, which is really loco. Because they're like, we don't have a picture of your driver's license. We don't have this. And I'm like, I brought another copy. And I brought another, like, 2 copies of the driver's license yesterday. Used up all my ink. Did a color one and did a black and white one. And that one cut off is my partner's expiration date. I'm like, oh, great. And I had the Social Security cards copied. Actually, I didn't even photocopy them. I don't know why I didn't. Why didn't I photocopy them? I took a picture and printed them. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't stick them in. I think I did stick them in there. And something happened. I don't know. Trying to copy some things. It's not been working out too well. Let's just put it that way. I should use the scan app on my iPad, that free eye scan. I have in my mind I had, don't work with these programs, don't do this, don't get stuck in something. And I ended up, feeling like weird and all these different things. And the word marriage has come up a few times this, I want to say 7 days, could have been 10, let's say 7 to 10 days, for different reasons. And it's really, me and my partner talk a lot, like just blah 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 about like nostalgia, I think. But then there's current events that we both talk about, that I hear my partner using certain language or talking about. Say it's like, hey, we need to go to Walmart and get some nuts and some bottled water. Like there's like kind of urgency. I feel like those are the, what's the word, the prophecy conversation. There's prophecy conversation that goes on, and it's like, I want to just blow it off. Like, we talk too much. I don't know. But then it's like, wait a second. There's prophetic words coming from the universe or the sign of the times, or, in my opinion, some of it is your brain, like a dream state. Your brain is working out some issues, some problems, some struggles, dealing with life on life's terms, and having these inspirational, that's not really the word I want, this inspirational, hey, we're going to do the next right thing. I like that language that I heard. The next right thing. We're going to do the next thing. We're going to do the next right thing. Put one foot in front of the other. And my partner said he was going to go turn this paperwork in. Oh, I went to go fax it at like 6:30 yesterday. And I had told one of my kids had something due yesterday, and they didn't know for sure the time and date, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I gotta turn some stuff in. Make sure you turn it in before closing time in case you have any issues. And you can call someone, and some people close at 4:30, so try to do it before then. And I'm spending like 2 days worrying about my child. And then I have my own deadline, and I don't go to find the fax number. I couldn't find the fax number. I couldn't find the old original packet. And it was in the kitchen on a box. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're not that smart right now. Which I found after we got home. My partner, we were looking for this packet because we were looking for the fax forms that had their fax number on it, because it wasn't in my phone. So I went to fax and found, my partner said, hey, get on the fax machine and get a log of your faxes. So I get a log of the faxes. And there's 4 numbers on December 1st. So apparently I waited till the last minute to turn that one in. December 1st, there's 4 numbers, because I had, I don't know, 80-something pages that I had to fax. I think the first time it didn't work, or something happened, or it didn't fit in the fax machine. I don't know, something weird happened, and I had to do 4 different sets of faxes. And then I went and did that number, and it came up with a voicemail. And I had called earlier to say, I need your fax number because this is due today. The day before, something in my gut said, don't do it. You don't want to be part of this program. It's like, you got screwed over before. There's so many stipulations, so many fine print. You can't do this, you can't do that. But I do my business from there. How much is it going to be? Are they going to overcharge like every other housing program I'm in, where they're charging 4 or 5 times a regular mortgage with extra fees and lack of anything nice is the word I want to say. So going in and having where we feel like my partner was saying, oh, let's turn the paperwork in. So it's probably after 5 when he says that. So I had needed my W-2s, and I had got these W-2s, and oh my god. One I got yesterday. I don't even know if I actually sent it in. The one I got yesterday, I'm like, oh my god. So I called a number saying, what's the fax number? Didn't answer. Called found the fax receipt after looking for like 40 minutes. And I was trying to tidy up and put some stuff in the file. And then went back, dialed the number, and the same voice message came on. That was when I called to ask for the number. And again, it was after hours. They said they closed at 4:30 or something. And I didn't leave a message. I kept hearing, there's a fan out here that keeps blowing on something. And my partner said, I'll go by myself, but I need gas. I said, okay, well, we're a little bit broke, partly because we're renting and not owning. I want to say that's probably potentially 100% of why we're broke. Like, I'm going to be honest, that's 100% why we're broke. Because, I mean, if we made tons of money, it wouldn't matter how much your rent is, but two factors that not making enough money and the rent is soaring, skyrocket. Oh my gosh, scary, 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 scary. What I needed was to throw the gas on my credit card because I have it. Well, I have a mess. I got 16 days to come, or shoot, I wish 16 days. I got 2 weeks to come up with $1,700 something dollars. I'm like freaking out because I didn't see that many patients. Come on, I mean I did, but they haven't been paying me what I ask for the insurance company, so that's flaking me out. That's freaking me out. Anyways, I have he was like, oh, you can stay home and do your work for your patients, and what I needed was a rest. And I was getting ready, and I started getting lightheaded, and the fridge was getting empty, and so something told me grab an orange. Thank God that we have a fridge and that oranges and apples and stuff actually I should go in there and make sure there's not any other hidden stuff. I put a bunch of stuff in the freezer that I let it eat with nut butter, but I'm pretty much out of nut butter. That's a different story. I want to talk about food on the second video. And because I wanted to stay, and I wanted to help navigate the driving and watch for deer and stuff and help keep him away because he wakes up early and works early. I wake up too, but I'm not doing the same type of physical labor. And then I have the packet. I was going to fax it, so I photocopy the pages and put it together and take that with me. I don't remember the temperature last night. I think it was in the 20s because my hands start to get cold. So I left another message. Okay, oh yeah. The fax didn't work, so I got on the phone and I didn't look at the letter that I received in the mail, and I just called, and the first name that popped up, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's her because I wrote it down earlier, extension number. I'm pretty sure that's the person's name. I don't even feel like looking, which is a little bit careless because you don't know who you're trying to communicate with. And that person, I said, oh, I'm trying to fax this in. I'm going to have to come out or whatever. And it's due today. It was like, and then what happens? No, I think I called and said I didn't have the fax number. And I was going to try to figure out how to get out there. And then when I found the fax number, I called back and left a general voice message or a voice message with, I don't know, reception or someone else, right? Okay. They had a list of like 10, 15 people. They said, if you want this person, do this extension. You want this person. So that's the message that was coming through my machine, so I had to cancel that. So yeah, photocopy that. Made the two messages. Made the one said, what's the fax number? Made the second one said, I'm trying to fax something and it's not working at that number that ends in whatever. And so basically throwing on layers. I already had these leggings. They were short capri leggings, but I had thrown on these clothes and bundled up because of the cold. It was snowing yesterday morning. And we ended up getting out. It's dark, cold. It disrupted his dinner, and I hadn't really had dinner. I was feeling faint. And then we got information. We were right. I didn't realize how close we were. We were right on like this highway. and we ended up just needing to go. I swear, like quarter of a mile to go down that road for Habitat for Humanity, and the lady calls and says, "Oh, I don't know what she said." I said, "Oh, I'm on my way there now. I'm going to drop it in the drop box." She's like, "No, I'm here. Knock on the front door." And so just in the nick of time, we were able to get our stuff in and get some information that we had no idea about, the clues and the non-married status and the will, what if you want to pass it on to your children, like all these things. Not a lot of information, just some little tidbits. And then what it is to have someone saying this county was closed indefinitely. And this other person from last week, 2 weeks ago, said, you got to go to the next county, which is, far away from our work, post office box, his kids, the office I go to is in a good, fastest time we got there, I think it's 1 hour, 15 minutes. It's usually an hour and a half to get to my office space. I would have added an extra half an hour to every single journey from, like I said, work to running the errands, checking the mail, going to this grocery store. There's one grocery store in that town that I go to sometimes, but they don't have that much stuff that I can eat, and it's super crowded. It's a Food Lion. And so that someone else said, oh, you're never going to get on the list in this county, and so we're not living in any housing stability. We're living in unstable housing. We got lead paint flaking all over. We have holes everywhere. There was a piece of paper towel in my dehydrator. I said, oh my god, is there a mouse in here? Because there shouldn't be a paper towel piece. And it was like not like smooth on the edges, so I'm trying to determine if there's bite marks. So it's just like, I mean, if you got holes in and out around your door this big, who knows what kind of critters. I mean, we could have snakes in here. That's a whole nother story. There's a snake at the trail we go to in one of the little houses. Like it almost fell on me, but I was playing that Scooby-Doo, like push the door open and look around first instead of just, how you usually open the door and you walk in at the same time. I was doing that, like kind of being dramatic. It's huge. I've never seen a snake that big in person. Maybe, someone had a boa constrictor in their house. I haven't seen a snake in a while, and it was up on the door, on top of the door. I don't even know. It was resting up on the door. Hello? Alright, back away from the snake and the holes. One way or another, we don't own this property. And if you do whatever you can to maintain your mortgage or buy something and pay cash and maintain paying the taxes, that's a whole nother ball game. I've been in that ball game, and it was relaxing as far as finances, but it was stressful, the location and the quality of the house. And the location was causing my animals, they were ending up in the street getting killed. And there was no fencing, there was no, screen porch, nothing to try to contain the animals. And I had a child, and I was expecting a second child. And I couldn't stand the thought of someone, finding their way down in the street, with these people flying through residential areas, on a highway, but there's houses on both sides and a bunch of curves and hills and coal trucks just flying through. People talk about all these accidents and all these settlements people are getting from the coal trucks just running into the cars. So I wanted to embrace the leaves of change. I wanted to embrace, in this past couple of days, the video, I kept endorsing it. No, I'm not endorsing, but I'm talking about the Kyle Cease and the Chris Reck interview. Chris is the one from the tarot, Minnow Pond Tarot. I have like, you guys, I have like, how do you say? I have like, I started picking up the voice of this other person that's in one of my groups. It's kind of starting to irritate me. It's like, cuz, it feels like cousin, cuz. It feels like it was, like you talk to someone, you get a sticker, like people go on vacation, put all these different stickers on their suitcase where they were. That's how I feel right now. I did that once for the Vacation Bible School. I don't remember what the topic was, but I cut out a bunch of like, looks like stickers from like Word, imaging from the Word document, and I had taped them onto this black Samsonite suitcase as a prop. Oh, I love doing stuff like that. I love doing stuff like that in the church. That was fun and creative and just, I don't know, like staging stuff. I love staging stuff. I don't stage my house. It'd be nice if I could stage my house and clean it, like make it look like it's for sale. Like someone's gonna come in and take pictures, and like they might do that. People have inspections. So I said I'm not the owner. So there's housing instability in more ways than one. There's housing instability in the price of rent being so high, and where I am in the situation is, it was way after hours. We wanted to drop this package to at least do a little bit. I had the addresses of the properties in the county that we wanted. They said this is it. 6 properties, and then we're done with this county. And they're going to go to the next county, which has a whole lot more crime and far away, especially if I'm trying to be going in across the bridge. The only thing I can think of is if we had to do that other one, it would be close to the beach and we could do work there instead, but I would just dread having to get in a car and meet someone and say it's going to be 2 hours before I get there. 1 hour and a half feels like the maximum commute, between 30 minutes and an hour and a half. It's hard. I've done too much commuting in my life, and I haven't been really driving because of my ankle and my wrist injury. I want to say 9 o'clock at night because I have no idea what time it was. We went to this neighborhood and we saw the home lots already, the foundations already dug up and the cement put down for some of them, and one was a rehab, a complete rehab. It looked like something out of a terror movie. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It felt like 1,000 ghosts right there. 2 houses across the street from it were also raised up, I don't know, 10 feet up in the air. It was so freaky, dude. Like, I got there and I used to do dancing in abandoned warehouses, or I don't know how I call them, abandoned warehouses. They didn't have the business in Detroit during the rave scene period. Listen to warehouse music. I miss that jungle music too, or that one we call booty. I miss I miss that kind of music coming out of Detroit in the mid '90s, the mid to late '90s. That was some music scene. I cannot even. Oh, if someone can go back with a tape recorder, get some of those tunes, like live. It's like live too. Driving around Detroit, where my aunt and cousin live, was okay. And I used to think our car was going to be stolen when I went outside. I was just like, I saw that movie with Madonna where they went out and the tires were gone. It was on cement blocks. I was like, what? And I went into the cities for the black neighborhoods for all my relatives. The neighborhoods were all calm and quiet back in the day. I don't even go there now, so who knows? So it's like calm, quiet, clean, pretty decent sized yards. Everybody in my family has big old yards. Nice. Not talking, you got a farm with a combine and some, wheat growing everywhere, but definitely had, even the inner city some people did. Uncle Homer and Aunt Eva had some farmland, some inner city garden. Grandma Charlotte had an inner city garden, growing a bunch of her food, canning everything. Big old yards, and I'm not talking big old McMansion. Sometimes McMansion don't have yards, but I'm not talking like suburban, rolling hills, gated community. You have a huge yard with all this stuff in ground pool. I'm talking for the type of neighborhood it was. They got someplace where a dog and some kids can run around in the backyard and have some fun, something I haven't really had much of in my life. I want to call this place Detroit. I felt more freaked out about the energy of these home lots and these homes than I did in the abandoned neighborhoods. Or, when you got a bunch of young people, a lot of them from the suburbs, coming into Detroit to listen to music and stay up and dance all night. There's a different vibe with the culture of the situation and the people going back to their lives, back to their burbs, and back to their, I always feel like there's probably high school kids, I would happen to be some of the oldest people, the college students, that would hang out there. Some nightclubs and different stuff. So there was a different vibe with that kind of abandoned holes in the floor. Part of party set up inside. I just thought kind of crazy, craziness. The Packard. Look at the Packard. So I was in there at least once. Look that up online. There's pictures of decrepit, million square foot building complex. We were there in the middle of the night. Police were coming around. People are outside. There's all the spots on the road were full of cars. There's no driveways, no alleys to park your car. There's home lots that look like somebody's yard, small yard, and that one of the home lots was on there. So they're going to have to build this, I haven't called cylindrical. They're going to have to build this tiny little narrow home where you're going to be like a foot or two from your neighbor's house and build that up, probably as a 2-story, because they needed to be all 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So we looked up a couple of the lot sizes in the house and the price. Somebody had bought one of these lots for $1,000, and then somebody flipped it for, was it $3,000? And then I think Habitat got one for $30,000. I think that's the one. So the house was gutted. You could see under the house, and there was no roof, and there was no walls. There was a front panel with some broken windows. I don't remember seeing a door. It's probably boarded up. And then there was a little sliver of the side with one window. And unbelievable. Unbelievable. It looked like a war zone. And I looked online, it said asbestos sidings. It had facade brick. So they got it down to the floorboards and I guess raised it up to put a foundation and do everything. It was really interesting to see. And my partner is good at construction and remodel stuff. He's familiar with this concept. But there's property I've seen over the years, half acre, quarter acre for $45,000 and stuff. Why are they buying these ghetto homes in these really small lots where you can't even have a backyard. You maybe have a sliver of a yard, maybe be able to put out a chihuahua out back to run around, but you're not going to have much of a garden except for containers. If you can even put a little porch in the back, like it's so small. And all this neighborhood is, all these houses so close together, and cars everywhere. No room to park. You'd have to fight leaving, coming, going. If you had to leave your work stuff in your truck, you'd have to leave that, not necessarily in front of your house, but down the street. I hate that kind of fighting for parking spots and then having your valuables. People still break in people's cars and your own driveway, in their own locked garage, for Pete's sake. So it's kind of sad. You want to keep an eye on your stuff. You don't want to be on a narrow street where people want to potentially ram into your car driving too fast. You know what I mean? So my mind is like, ooh, this is interesting. Look at this. It's opening up my eyes to something new. But my heart is like, this is a hood. This is a ghetto. Got the police rolling in there, looking at us. I didn't even look up. I had a piece of paper and a pen in my hand. I'm just like, I could carry around a clipboard with my name badge around, like I was before when I was student inspector. It's like, this is my life. This is our life. We're making a life decision. We got the paperwork in. We got this information we never had got before. We were told that half of those sites were already accounted for, and to choose if we had a preference or not. I moved into every house. I think the last house that we rented for me and my kids, I think we were able to see the house, but I don't know if we already signed the lease. It was like we were on a wait list and you have to select it. Every time we did temporary housing, we went out from the shelter. We had all these temporary housing programs. You only have like 6 weeks or 6 months or whatever, and you have to get there. As soon as you get there, you're on the wait list. The social workers help you get on the wait list to the next place. The next place, when you put it on a couple wait lists, the next place that comes up, they get a letter first. So you have no autonomy or whatever. And they put a eviction notice on your door saying you have 2 weeks or 10 days to get out. And you're like, what the heck does this do at my door? Like, oh, you got approved for your next housing. When you get approved, you're out of here. You can't wait for the second one. Oh, that one's in Northwest. I want to live in Southwest. Oh, that one's in Northeast. I want to live in Southwest. I want to live in North. I want to live next to my kid's school. Too bad. You get your thing. You go there. You go there and you sign the lease. And you come back and go to Safeway and ask them for some banana boxes and some other boxes. And you find out what day they get their freight, so you can come back in the late morning and get some more boxes. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Sight unseen. They have the lease prepared. You come. You sign it. You get the money together. And because it was partially funded, or as part of a program, you can't have 10 days. See, you can't sign the lease and get the key and start paying. I guess you could pay. You'd have to pay a lot because you're going to pay for 2 houses. You don't want to pay for 2 houses for half a month or a third of a month. So they give you like 72 hours or something. They still charge you for both. But you got like a very limited window to get all your stuff out of one into another. Sight unseen. You get the kids. You grab your boxes. You put your dishes and whatever in there. Get some free newspapers. Wrap up your dishes. And you fill the car up. The trunk. You go to the office before they close. You get your key. You give them the check for your first and last month's rent, security deposit. And then you go in for the first time with the box. And it doesn't matter. It could be trash. It could be full of Sorry, I'm making my video. Can you shut the door, please? Thank you. Sorry. You scared me. Thank you. It could be nice. It could be missing windows. It could be, I mean, some of ours were trash, some of them weren't. And I felt really embarrassed when I'm making my video since somebody else is here. Anyways, we had to do a lot of faith and hope and not give up the spot because we had no other choices and no other 3 times the rent. Say it's a 1-bedroom apartment for $1,000. I wasn't making $3,000 a month, plus the probably $3,000 last month's rent, security deposit, the $3,000 cash you needed. So I wasn't qualifying for those type of homes. Back then it could have been, $700 for a 2-bedroom. But if you could pay the $700, you might not be able to have that requirements of the 3 times rent as your proven income. It should still be close to $3,000, $2,000 something. So back then I was getting my job at a daycare. It was $9 and something an hour. In the summer I was full-time, but I had to also pay for my kids' daycare. So it's like you kind of get like a break even. You have enough money to pay the gas station to get there and just try to figure out how to gather the rest of the money. But the video on the food, I can say the brief thing that I was following up from yesterday would be, what is the so seaweed, don't worry, seaweed, that's another seaweed I'm scared I'm going to get sick from. Freeze-dried fruit, frozen fruit, has some nuts, in that shell. I'm not going to be eating the Brazil nuts really. And then we need to go get some gallons of bottled water. Microplastics I'm concerned about, so I'm going to start having to filter the bottled water to try to get rid of that. And then some condiments like seasonings and a few of those things in the freezer, like green beans, but I wanted to mix with nut butter and mushrooms to make like raw green bean casserole with onions. I don't really have nut butter. Some tahini. I found another thing of tahini. And then my son got me a food processor, so I saw a dressing that looked like raw ranch on a short video today, so I'm going to write that down. So what else? Got enough honey to last, I'd say a month, at least a month. And a bunch of tea, and so, we got some wraps, some coconut wraps. I don't have anything fun to put in. I was putting nut butter, making like a crab rangoon, but I'm out of nut butter. And I'm out of noodles. Gained 7 pounds eating raw noodles. Oh, there's cabbage and spinach in there that's been in there for weeks, so I can maybe cut it up, make some tahini cabbage and put it in the dehydrator or something like that. So